It's time for your feature presentation.
Welcome back to the Angry Gallo podcast. Mitch Gallo, Dave Trentadue, and Erica Santori. And I have to say, guys, I'm excited and thrilled about our next guest. I've been a fan of his, and not just a fan, but I've been inspired by this man for like 20 years. He's the first undisputed champion in WWE history. He's the lead singer of the band Fozzy, and season 2 of his show, But I'm Chris Jericho, is now streaming on the CBC TV app and cbc.ca/watch. Catch up on Season 1 now on the CBC TV app and cbc.ca/watch. Chris Jericho, welcome to the Angry Gallo podcast.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, listen, for starters, they told me 10 minutes, and I'm going to completely respect the rules. However, I'm not going to try to stretch it, but I recently read your book, No is a 4-letter word. And I read it in like 3 days. I couldn't put it down. But there's a passage in the book that's really resonating with me today because 10 minutes is tough, man.
Hey, man, that's the rules that you're given, so.
I can't help but think of you and the Scorpions, that's all. But tell me...
Yeah, that was different, though. That was a live podcast. This is a radio tour with 10 freaking interviews, one after another, so it's going to be hard to stretch this one out.
I hear you, and I don't want to mess it up for the others. So tell me about the show, But I'm Chris Jericho. I need to get caught up on Season 1, which I will with the CBC app, but what's the show like, and how close to your real life is it really?
Well, it's nothing like in real life. The idea was, it came from when I left the WWE in 2005 to go study acting, and I would go into a room with 10 guys that looked just like me to read one line for CSI Sheboygan, and it would be, these pretzels are making me thirsty. Okay, thank you, next.
Boy, these pretzels are making me thirsty.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Oh, these pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
And I'd be like, I'm Chris Jericho. I have like some steam. I have some fans, but I realized what happened at Jericho got blackballed from wrestling. I had to start from scratch in acting and all the stuff that would happen. So I kind of created this show and sold it. It took me 8 years to sell it, and then it took me 4 years to get Season 2 rolling when CBC called me out of the blue to continue. And it's a fun role to play because it's Jericho, exaggerated, prima donna, egotistical, and all of these ridiculous things that happen to me, almost like a modern-day Archie Bunker.
Do you know that we don't catch that fishing boat? There ain't gonna be no deep-sea fishing. We'll have to stay on the dock with the old people here. Hold it. What are you doing here? What? What about the other foot? There ain't no sock on it. I'll get to it. Don't you know that the whole world puts on a sock and a sock and a shoe and a shoe?
By being a jerk, everything always kind of falls, it blows up in my face. And then throw in some of the greatest Canadian comedians and American comedians of all time, from Kevin McDonald and Scott Thompson from The Kids in the Hall to Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyways, Andy Kindler from Everyone Loves Raymond. We've got a great cast of people in this great universe that we created, and it was so much fun to return for Season 2. Even though it was 4 years later, it makes it even sweeter to know that we've gotten to this point, and not just with anybody, with CBC, the biggest media platform in Canada, who's putting a huge push behind it. So we're excited, man.
First of all, can you stop playing me in wrestling video games? It's just creepy. Second of all, can you use a coaster? You got rings all over this table. You're making a mess. Come on.
Jeez whiz, chill out, dude.
Don't tell me to chill out. You're eating a hoagie. This is a $20,000 couch. You got stuff all over it. Come on, man.
You come on.
I just broke up with my girlfriend.
Ryan, you've never had a girlfriend.
I love the Seinfeld reference, by the way, and you mentioned that you kind of play a jerk on the show, and you have some of your finest moments in the ring when you play the jerk. Why do you think you handle that role so well?
I don't know. It's funny because I've been WWE champion 6 times, but never once as a babyface, always as a heel. So.
Oh God, I don't believe this. Austin's not moving. Jericho's got a leg hook. My God, don't tell me this. My God, it can't be happening. I call him Murray. Jericho has done it. The winner of this bout and undisputed champion, Jericho.
I don't know. It's fun to play the bad guy. It's fun to kind of put yourself out there, and you have no inhibitions about it. And I think a lot of people take themselves very seriously. I don't. So to be the foil and to kind of be the bad guy, and like I said in Chris Jericho, but I'm Chris Jericho, people probably think, oh, Jericho's going to be the hero. He's not the hero. He's a guy who's nemesis of all people, is Colin Mockery. And Colin bests me every time. You know, I love that type of stuff. The opposite of what you would expect somebody like me to do is what I appreciate the most. So, and like I said, everybody has this side of their personality where you want to be a little bit of a prima donna or want to kind of have a little bit of a temper tantrum. I get to play that, but I'm Chris Jericho, so it's a great gig for me to have some fun with myself and not be the hero that everybody expects that I'm going to be.
Would you please shut the hell up?
So check it out, but I'm Chris Jericho, now streaming on the CBC TV app or at cbc.ca/watch. Now, I know you're a big hockey fan, correct?
Well, not really. I mean, I'm a Winnipeg Jets fan, but it's hard. Like, I live in Tampa, Florida, and to follow the Jets is very hard down in southern Florida. But I think of all the sports, hockey is probably the one that I enjoy the most.
Okay, because I think the Vegas Golden Knights are still looking for you on Twitter.
Yeah, it was funny. They just kind of attacked me on Twitter, and I was like, okay, well, here's what happens, you know. I didn't even really know. I thought there was a Las Vegas Golden Knights. I wasn't sure that they weren't actually called the Las Vegas Knights. So I guess I should probably learn the team's name before I start having a Twitter war with them.
I think they thought Las Vegas Golden Knights was just too long, but that's besides the point. I think the people of Vegas are just happy to have a team. Hey, listen, I want to play a game with you, if that's okay, because you mentioned the 10 interviews, right? So I don't want to ask you the same wrestling questions that everyone else asks. So I kind of want to change things up, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
All right, so hockey. Give me your all-time first All-Star team. So if you could pick 3 forwards, 2 defense, 1 goaltender, and I completely expect you to put your dad in here. But who would you go? Who would be your 6?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't put my dad in there. I'd go with Howard, Chuck, Lemieux, and Gretzky. I'd go Bobby Orr. Let me see. Who's on the side? Sean Cronin.
Sean Cronin, nice.
Cronin the Barbarian. And in goal, I'll take Pokey Reddick.
Wow, that is an awesome list. We have one crossover. Actually, we have 2 crossovers, Gretzky and Orr, on our list. But
okay, there you go.
I guess Howard Chuck, you have to go there with the Jets angle, right? All right.
Yeah, of course.
Next, this is going to be tough for you because I know you love music, right? So
yeah.
First of all, you got to get Fozzy back to Montreal. Dave, Erica, and I are itching to go.
Yeah, man, we got a big Canadian tour in the works right now because Judas is doing really good. It's starting to really spread around Canada, so I think that's next on the agenda for sure.
Sweet. We'll be there for sure. So here's my tough question for you. I want you to do the same thing hockey-wise, but make a super band. So you get 2 guitar players, a lead and a rhythm player, 1 bass player, 1 singer, and 1 drummer. Who's your super band?
It's hard, man. Well, let's see. Let's do. It's hard because a super band, when you put a bunch of guys that are all great together, it's not going to work. You need those other guys. I'll do an all deceased band. I'll put Malcolm Young on rhythm guitar, Cliff Burton on bass guitar, Randy Rhoads on lead guitar. On drums, I'll put the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold, and on vocals, I'll say Bon Scott and John Lennon.
Imagine all the people living for today.
I like how you changed it up on me. That's very.
Well, I got to. I always have to be in control.
that's Chris Jericho, I think, of Podcast Land, which I do love your podcast too, by the way. Dave, we have a couple minutes left. Quickly, you have anything you want to throw Chris Jericho's way?
Yeah, hey Chris, I just want to get. I will ask a wrestling question. I just want to get your take on Montreal as a wrestling city. You know, a few years ago, I paid $10 to watch Kevin Steen and El Generico wrestle in a local bar, and now they're main eventing WWE pay-per-views. And as a fan, I'm always proud of the crowd reactions at the Bell Center. So for wrestlers, is Montreal just another stop on the tour, or is it something to look forward to on the calendar?
I am Chris Jericho, your new hero, your party host, and most importantly, the most charismatic showman to ever enter your living rooms via a television screen.
Well, it depends on the person. You know what I mean? You can't generically say for wrestlers. I mean, I think for me, Montreal is always a great building. There's a great fan base there. It doesn't pop out to me like oh my God, every time you go to Montreal it's going to be great, because that's not the case. You have to work hard and do good work, and if you do that good work, you'll get a great reception. You know, Quebecers are great wrestling fans. They're great music fans. We played Heavy Montreal a couple of years ago with Fozzy, which was a great show. So I think people want to have a good time in Montreal, and they want to be entertained. And if you give them something worthy of that, they'll respond accordingly. So it's fun to come to Montreal. It's so out of the way, though. In a lot of ways, you really got to commit. You know, if you're going to do a Montreal show, it's not like you can piggyback it with anything else. So usually you're doing something in northern New York, and then you got to cross the border to do Montreal, and then cross back unless you're going to do a Toronto show, because Ottawa is a waste of time. It's not a good show. I can't remember the last time we went to Quebec City. So Montreal's like Winnipeg. It's kind of a bastion to itself, and if you're going to go there, it's going to be a commitment. It's going to be a lot of traveling, but the shows are usually good.
Last one for you real quick. Can you please, if you can, cut a promo on Angry Gallo, Dave, and Erica telling people to listen to Angry Gallo?
Yeah, I can't cut a promo. You know, it's like so you tell a comedian, hey, do that funny thing you do that face you do. It's like, you know, you got to be in character to cut a promo. You got to be in character to, you know, people always want to go on the list. It's like, it doesn't work that way. You can't request to be on the list. You can't request me to do a promo. You know, I'm not a monkey on a string just waiting to do your bidding, sir. So there you go. There's your promo right there. I don't even remember who you wanted me to cut it on, but just edit it in here. Hey, whoever, hey you, edit in name. Mind your business, man. Keep your nose clean. There you go.
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Chris Jericho. We look forward to watching the show.
That sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
There he is, Chris Jericho. You can check out But I'm Chris Jericho with the CBC app or at cbc.ca/watch.